morning, everybody. And a very warm welcome to St. Barthol's Church. I think the car park and all the roads around are completely gridlocked. But it's lovely to have, you know, the whole community gathered here tonight for this event. I think it was about 2 years ago that David and Elaine asked me to go around for coffee and said that they were thinking about doing a community nativity. Now, I had no idea what they were I mean, I know what a nativity is, of course, but I had no idea quite what they had in mind. But I'm game for most things, and I said, yes, of course you can. And here we are, it's actually happening, and as you can see from so many people, word has got around the town pretty quick that this is something worth watching. So we're all looking forward to what we're going to see. Hopefully you've all bought raffle tickets. And during the evening, the raffle will be drawn, and at the end of the evening, Dave will put the numbers up, and then you just go and pick your prize on your way out.
I've got some brilliant news for you, Mary, said the angel. You're going to have a baby, who will grow up to be the glory of his nation and a beacon of hope for the whole world. That sounds great, said Mary, not entirely getting the gist of it. But if you don't mind my saying so, there's a serious practical problem. You see, I haven't got a boyfriend. Have you thought about Joseph the carpenter, asked the angel. He's a decent sort of chap with a steady income. But this amazing baby won't bear the DNA of a human father. The power of the Most High will come upon you, and your son will be born of the Spirit. My mum will take some convincing, thought Mary. But you don't argue with an angel, so she let it pass. She woke up in great excitement with the dream still fresh in her memory, thanking God for the promised miracle, but still not sure what the neighbours were going to think. But was it just a dream? Joseph with fresh eyes, and it was not long before they became an item. And as time passed by, Mary's bump began to show, and Tom's predictably started to work. Joseph was not a happy man. In fact, he was angry and upset. It seemed obvious that Mary had been unfaithful, and her explanation was fanciful, to say the least. He had to think of his reputation, to say nothing of the reaction of his customers. Joseph wanted to do the right thing by Mary, but breaking off their engagement was clearly the only reasonable course of action. But next, it was Joseph's turn for surprise. He also had a vision, in which an angel gave him reassurance and urged a change of heart. Described his vision to Mary, very much to her relief. The two dreams matched perfectly. Now, fully reconciled once more, the couple were married quietly in the local synagogue. Increasingly they sensed the unique privilege of their extraordinary position. As the date of the baby's birth approached, an unwanted complication arose. One day, a Roman official with a military escort rode into Nazareth. He announced that there was to be an immediate national census, for which every man was required to return to his place of birth. Joseph's hometown was Bethlehem, necessitating a difficult and sometimes dangerous journey of nearly 100 miles over dusty tracks. Mary didn't want to be left alone, so reluctantly Joseph agreed that she should accompany him. He wasn't a wealthy man, but at least he owned a donkey, which would spare his expectant wife the ordeal of making the entire journey on foot. And so they set off for Bethlehem.
Oh,
observed a new star in the sky. It seemed to them the star was predicting some special events. Accordingly, 3 of their number, mounted on camels and bearing gifts, resolved to follow the course of the star and discover what mystery it proclaimed. The star led the wise men to Jerusalem, and by this time they felt sure that it heralded the birth of a king. Accordingly, they presented themselves at the palace of King Herod to inquire where a new king was to be born. Herod was none too pleased by their question. Being a king in those days was a hazardous business. He had to watch his back. The new king could threaten his position as well as the family succession. But shrewdly, he made no mention of his fears to the wise men. Knowing nothing of any imminent royal arrival, Herod decided that this was a job for the theologians. he duly ordered the leading scholars to appear before him and urgently demanded to know where the child was to be born. The scholars were shaking in their shoes, but fortunately this was an easy question for anyone well versed in the Jewish scriptures. "Why in Bethlehem, sire?" they replied without hesitation. If they thought that Herod should have known the answer himself, they had the sense to say nothing. King Herod turned his attention once more to the foreign visitors. "That problem solved, then," he said. Birmingham? It's just not Birmingham. "Why in Bethlehem, sire?" they replied. If they thought that Herod should have known the answer himself, they had the sense to say nothing. Herod then turns his attention once more to the foreign visitors. "That problem solved, then," he said. "Bethlehem is just over 6 miles away. I suggest you go there and see what you can find. And oh, if it is indeed a newborn king, I shall rely on you to keep me informed, so that I can go and pay my respects." The wise men thanked Herod for his help, and they took their leave. Not far away, on a hillside outside Bardsley, a group of shepherds were huddled around a fire. They were taking it in turns to keep a watchful eye on their flocks of sheep, in case of marauding predators. All at once they were terrified by the appearance of angels. Don't be afraid, the angel told them reassuringly. I'm the bearer of good news, a source of great joy for all people. Very soon there will be a baby boy lying in a manger here in Bethlehem. He is destined to be a saving power for the whole world. We have come to proclaim peace on earth, goodwill to all.
the shepherds were eager to hurry into town in search of the newborn child.
Going through the hills on a night all starry, on the way to Bethlehem. Far away I heard a shepherd boy piping, on the way to Bethlehem. Angels in the sky. way to Bethlehem. Who will hear your tunes on this hill so lonely, on the way to Bethlehem? Dance and sing for joy that Christ the newborn King is come to bring us peace on earth and his lying, cradled there at Bethlehem. King, shepherd boy, piping merrily, is he there at Bethlehem? Fighting soon by the star shining brightly in the sky of Bethlehem. In the sky, roll the roses, dance and sing for joy that Christ the newborn King is come to bring us peace on earth and his lying, cradled there at Bethlehem. Shepherd boy, piping merrily, come with you to Bethlehem. Pay my homage to of the new King's cradle, is it far to Bethlehem? Dance and sing for joy that Christ the infant King is born, is like in glory, stable yonder, all for you and me.
By this time, Joseph and Mary, with their weary donkey, had finally reached journey's end. Mary was close to giving birth and utterly exhausted. Bethlehem was crowded with people returning for the census. In desperation, Joseph tried the inn, but all the rooms were taken. Observing Mary's condition, the innkeeper and his wife were sympathetic, but helpless to provide accommodation. As a last resort, they offered the shelter of an outbuilding, where domestic animals were kept. They would arrange for some clean straw. The couple were bitterly disappointed, their fondest dreams in ruins before their eyes. So the angelic visions had turned out to be nothing more than an illusion. What hopes now for their son? Could greatness survive the shame of a stable birth, or identity the squalor of abject poverty? Joseph blamed himself. He should never have allowed his young wife to come to this. Still, they were grateful for a roof of sorts over their heads and helping hands nearby. Then, quite suddenly, amid the sounds and smells of the animals, a cry in the night, and a child was born. Mercifully, all was well with mother and baby. God be praised for safe delivery, declared Joseph. Now, perhaps we can all get some rest. opened again. Quite different visitors arrived this time, dressed richly in fine apparel like kings. Joseph felt he ought to make obeisance, but instead the three wise men knelt in homage at the manger. Following a bright star, they had travelled great distances to present their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Greetings from virgin land, let Jordan follow the pointing star, and is the quest of the travelers three, where the newborn King of the Jews may be. For royal gifts they bear for the King, gold, incense, myrrh, their offering. The star shines out with a steadfast ray. The kings to Bethlehem make their way, and there in worship they bend the knee, as Mary died in her lap they see. Their royal gifts they show the King, gold, incense, myrrh, of their offering. Thou child of man who rode to Bethlehem, the kings are traveling, travel with them. The star of mercy, star of grace, shall lead thy house to its resting place. Gold, incense, myrrh thou canst not bring, offer thy love to the infant King. Offer thy heart.
Christmas by John Betjeman. The bells of waiting Advent ring, the tortoise stove is lit again, and lamp oil light across the night has poured the streaks of winter rain in many a stained glass window sheen, from Crimson Lake to Hooker's Green. The holly in the windy hedge and round the manor house, the yew will soon be stripped to deck the ledge, the altar, font, and arch and pew, so that the villagers can say, the church looks nice on Christmas Day. Provincial public houses blaze, corporation tramcars clang, on lighted tenements I gaze where paper decorations hang, and bunting in the red town hall says, Merry Christmas to you all. And London shops on Christmas Eve are strung with silver bells and flowers as hurrying clerks the city leave to pigeon-haunted classic towers, and marbled clouds go scudding by the many-steepled London sky. And girls in slacks remember Dad, and oafish louts remember Mum, and sleepless children's hearts are glad, and Christmas morning bells say, come, even to shining ones who dwell safe in the Dorchester Hotel. And is it true, this most tremendous tale of all, seen in a stained glass window's hue, a baby in an ox's stall, the maker of the stars and sea, became a child on earth for me? And is it true? For if it is, no loving fingers tying strings around those tissued fripperies, the sweet and silly Christmas things, bath salts and inexpensive scent, and hideous tie so kindly meant. no love that in a family dwells, no carolling in frosty air, nor all the steeple-shaking bells can with this single truth compare, that God was man in Palestine and lives today in bread and wine.
Mistrusting Herod's intentions, the astrologers urged Joseph to take good care of the child. They would avoid Jerusalem on the way home. And so it was that the dreams of Mary and Joseph were finally vindicated in ways they could never have imagined. Through tear-filled eyes they surveyed the scene before them, a humble stable suddenly transformed in their perception into a palace fit for a king. born in that stable have shaped our society much more profoundly than we often realise. The implications of the Nativity have embedded themselves deeply in our civilization and national culture. Let's take a quick look at our community here in Shepshed. These shields have been made under the supervision by service users of the Newfields Day Centre based at Christchurch. At once we can see vital elements of the community life, such as healthcare, education, churches, local government, industry, commerce, the retail trade, agriculture, voluntary services, catering, sport, entertainment, and a host of clubs and societies. A directory has been compiled to list them all. A copy of which can be found at the council offices and in the library. Now, let me read that again because I need to make this important. A directory has been compiled to list them all and placed in the library and the council offices, and copies are available by free download or by order for a hard copy. But the community of Shepshed is much more than its constituent parts. It involves every one of us as individuals, as friends and neighbours, contributing through actions and relationships to create real community and to make it work. In our finest aspirations, and whenever we manage to put the common good before personal ambition, we are identifying with the vision of the Nativity. As the people of Shepshed, let's make the story of the Nativity our own and celebrate its timeless inspiration. We wish you all a very happy Christmas and invite you to join with us the final hymn, Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
Amen.
stable and see for yourself. Come as poor shepherd or wise man with wealth. Here find the Christ child, a Jew with black hair, brown eyes and dark skin, not Christmas card fare. Come to the market and see for yourself the bright Christmas goodies arranged on each shelf. Then come to the back street and meet Jesus there, revealed in a child trapped in poverty's snare. Come to the crossroads, look down every street, and seek out the misfit alone on a seat. Dig deep in your pocket and count not the cost. Remember Christ came to save all who are lost. Come to the manger and then you will find you are kneeling alongside of all humankind. Come bring him your gift from your poor means or wealth. Come to the stable and see for yourself. What an amazing evening. I think we really need to give some tributes here. Let's start with our musicians, for Cherevocci, the serenade, and for Tom up there, for Graham and our handbell ringers. Let's give them a sign of our appreciation. For all the wonderful members of our cast, Shepshed will never be the same again. Most of all, the two people without whom tonight just would not have happened, for David and Elaine. Would you like to... Just I hope you're pleased your dream came true tonight.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
And there is a collection, you didn't have to pay to come in, there is a bucket collection on the way out for the couple of hours, just to show how much we appreciate what Shepshed is doing for us.
If you didn't hear that without the mic, that you've had a wonderful evening, you haven't paid to come in, but hopefully you're going to pay to go out. And everything collected is going to the food bank in Shepshed.